Hi everybody, welcome to the lesson in which we introduce SPSS, which is the statistical package for the social sciences, and one of the data sets that we'll be working with a lot this semester. Unless you're on campus in one of the computer labs or in a computer that's in the library or something, in order to get to SPSS or open an SPSS file, you'll have to go through what's called the virtual desktop. And I've got a link to that here on our course Canvas site. But that's just mydesktop.queens.edu if you want to go directly to it. If it gives you an option, choose the HTML access. And then use your regular Queens credentials to log in. And then student general use. That's fine. I don't know why it thinks it's unsafe, but it is. Once you do this, you'll be opening a computer that's within your browser. You are essentially opening up one of the computers in the computer lab. Okay? And so it takes it a second to warm up. Like I said, if you happen to be on one of the campus computers, you can skip this step, which is nice, but I know most people prefer to go through their own computers. So once you're in here, now everything we're doing from here on out, you have to do from inside this window, okay? So we're going to have to open up Canvas. Now we've got Canvas opened out here. And that's great, but it's not going to work. We have to open up Canvas from within here. So I have to open up a browser. And then go to canvas.queens.edu. And then within here, open up our course site. And then we can open up an SPSS file. If you want to start from scratch with a new data set, you can just open that up from right here. But most of the time, we'll be working with the data set that I have posted. The data sets that we're going to work with, I'll post them up here under Files, Data Sets. Okay. So this data set that we're going to be working with is called the General Social Survey. And this is a huge data set that's used in the social sciences and in a lot of other fields as well. It's a survey that's run by I forget, it might be the Roper organization. Anyway, it's a really well-respected organization. They've got tons of well-credentialed people who work on it. And then every couple of years, they do a new survey and ask some questions of a whole lot of people. So as that's coming up, let me show you some key features here. There's what's called the data view down here, which shows you a list of all of the variable names and their values. Most of these are coded. A lot of these are Likert items and they're coded. If you want to see them, if you want to see what the codes represent, you can go up to View Value Labels and it'll show you what these values represent. But let's look at variable view. So variable view gives us a list of all the variables and some features about them. And you can widen this out a little bit. As I have it posted, the variables are in alphabetical order by the name. So if you need to find a variable, and by the way, there are tons of variables in here, so you're going to need to be able to find them quickly. There's 1,066 variables listed here. So when I give you an assignment, I'll typically say, here's the variable name you're going to be working with, and you'll search for it alphabetically. So for type, all of these are listed as numeric, even if it's not numeric. This means it's coded numerically. A lot of these questions are actually nominal level, but they're coded with numbers 1, 2, and 3. And if you want to see what the codes represent, under values, click in this box, and there's the 3 dots. If you click there, it'll show you. And this was a question whether they asked people if they thought abortion was okay if a woman wants it for any reason. And people said yes, no, don't know, no answer. I believe NA was no answer. And IAP means inapplicable. So that means that for some reason they chose not to ask that person this question. And if there's a 0, an 8, or a 9, that means that these values are missing. Okay, it means for whatever reason, there's no value listed there. Okay, a couple other things you might want to be aware of. One other type that comes up is string, and string just means it's not numeric, it's just characters, so like a label might be a string. There are other ones in here, but we hardly see them. The label. So something you need to know about the variable names is that SPSS is kind of particular. It doesn't allow certain characters. It doesn't allow spaces in the variable names. Certain characters like exclamation points. I think it doesn't allow a number to be the first character of a variable name. Anyway, but if you want a more descriptive label, as is often very, very useful to have, you can type in the label, okay? And by the way, R on these labels, R means respondent. So a question like this means the respondent said they would help with arrangements, help somebody make arrangements to get an abortion, and whether they said yes, no, don't know, no answer. All right, so that's what's there. You're going to want to be familiar. This tells you, how many variables there are, what they represent. There are some variables on here that you might not want to use. Some of these that say weight, or there's some of these that are really just for use within the for the people who run SPSS. So weight doesn't mean a person's weight. It means how much that observation is weighted in the data. You don't have to worry about that. That's something they do to handle non-response. Don't worry about that. Anyway, okay, so let's say we want to do something simple here. So we want to run a mean. And you're going to want to do this very, very soon. So these menus up at the top, you go under Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Explore. This is going to be one we use a lot. So Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Explore. It's going to help a lot if you widen this. and increase the height. All right, so let's look for a nice numeric variable like age of respondent. If we want the mean age of all of the people in the data set, we just take age, and you can either hold it down and drag it over here, or you can just hit this arrow and you move it over here, and it gives you some options. So under statistics, we just want to see the descriptives, and let's turn off the plots for now. So right now, let's only look at the statistics. And click OK, and a new window will open up. And this gives you a lot of information. It tells you how many observations you have that had values entered, and it tells you how many rows of data were missing. So for all of the people in this survey, it tells you that the mean age was 48.97 years of age. And then it gives you some other things too, some of which we'll use later on, and some of which we won't get to at all in this course because they're just beyond the scope. But this is very useful information, and to get there, all you need to do is analyze, descriptive statistics, explore. Now let me show you something cool you can do. If we want to compare means across two groups, say we look at variable view and we want to compare, let's say, ages of people who have a bird. People who have a bird. If we go back to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Explore. Now, by the way, there are other ways of getting descriptive statistics, but this is the way I want you to use because it does things and gives us things that other procedures won't. So if we want to compare, we go find that variable bird, and we move that to factor list. So we've got our numeric variable under age of respondent. So for the dependent list, we need our numeric variable, and for the factor list, we're using our nominal variable. Don't get those backwards, okay? So it's always the numeric variable for dependent list, and then your nominal for factor list. And then click OK. And then it'll give you, for the people who do not have a bird, their average age was 48.28. And for the people who have a bird, their average age is 46.39. So it looks like the people who have a bird are just a little bit younger than the people who do not have, but not by much, just by 2 years. So that's just a little tiny bit to get you started. So that's a little tiny bit to get you started in terms of how to do calculations. One more thing you're going to need to be able to do, and that is copy your results over and turn them in, because I'm going to want to see your SPSS output. So there are a couple things you can do. Here are two that I think are the easiest. If you know how to take a screen grab on your computer, on my computer it's print screen. It's PRTSCR. It's just a button I push. And if I do that, I can come over into Word and Control V. your computer might call it something different, or on a Mac it might especially be something different. But that's one way you can do it. Another thing you can do that I like a lot is the snipping tool. And to get to that, you just have to go to search and then type snipping tool. A student showed me that, and I've used it just about every day since. This lets you copy a part of your screen and paste it like that. All right, so that's it for now. As we go through the course, I'll add some things here and there to it. We'll learn how to do new procedures here, but that's it for getting started. And you know, anytime you have questions, let me know.